Now welcome back to SSMEA. Today is December 15th, and your daily forecast for today is partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers. Today's high is 10 degrees Celsius and the low is negative 2 degrees Celsius.
Attention! Attention!
Well, I guess it's story time. Let's continue yesterday's story called The Follower. To everybody from yesterday, welcome back, and to the new listeners, you're in for a ride. In yesterday's episode of The Follower, Emily breaks up with her boyfriend Scott as if someone or something was compelling her to do so. Emily started running home, slowly accelerating her speed.
But then she felt as if somebody was following her as she heard the distant footsteps. She turned around and there was nobody. She was so terrified that she sprinted home. Time passed, and soon it was time for her to go to sleep. As she was drifting into a deep, deep sleep, she felt a tug on her blanket. Now, let's continue on with the story. She suddenly had awoken, eyes wide open. She felt cold, and she started to shiver. She could feel goosebumps emerging on her arms. The hairs on her back arose. She slowly turned around and saw no one. Emily got up and noticed her blanket was on the floor. She was confused, but she got over it. She lay in her bed, then she glanced at her clock. It read 2:38. She shut her eyes as tightly as she possibly could, attempting to fall asleep. As she lay there, with her eyes shut, all she could hear was the trembling thunder. The raindrops against her window started getting heavier. She glanced at her clock again. It read 2:46. She couldn't fall asleep, so she got up and put on a blue sweater with Scott's old gray sweats. She put on her slippers and walked towards the door. Emily slowly creaked open her door. She headed down the stairs, slowly, trying not to awaken her parents. As she was going down the stairs, she heard her stomach give a huge grumble. She walked into the kitchen, took out a glass, and started pouring herself in some water. She leaned against the cupboards and stared at the thunder in the dark sky. She slowly sipped her water, sip by sip. Suddenly, she heard enormous stomps coming down the stairs. Considering it was her mother, she said, "I was just grabbing a drink, Mom." Finding it odd that she didn't reply, she eagerly stared at the doorway as she heard the footsteps coming closer and closer and closer. She stood there, frozen.
I love Pop-Tarts.
I love coffee.
I wish you could put both of them together.
What about Pop-Tart coffee?
Now, introducing the new, awesome Pop-Tart coffee from Starbucks.
Pop-Tart coffee. It's poppin'.
Now back to The Follower, which is brought to you by Colgate Ultra White and Pop-Tart Coffee.
It's poppin'.
The footsteps became slower, as if they were now walking. They walked through the door, and Emily dropped her glass on the floor, shattering it into 1,000 pieces.
She stood there, eyes wide open, with a terrified look. It was a black figure. It was blurry, and it said,
Hello, Emily. Finally, we come face to face.
Tune in tomorrow to hear the rest of the suspense. Alright guys, we will see you next time. For now, enjoy this awesome song, Hotline Bling by Drake.